Christopher Lele in the headlines. Tinubu sweeps APC presidential primary, secures massive nationwide endorsement. Gunmen kill 3 worshippers, abduct 15 in Kwara. Blast targeting train kills at least 20 people in Pakistan. And U.S. Secretary of State says significant progress has been made in Iran talks to end the war. Details in a moment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, on Saturday reaffirmed the political dominance of President Bola Tinubu as he secured a landslide victory across states of the Federation to clinch the presidential ticket. Tinubu, who is seeking a second term in office, defeated fellow aspirant and businessman Stanley Osito in the nationwide exercise conducted over the APC's direct primary system, which allowed party members across the country's 8,809 wards to participate in the selection process. The primary, held simultaneously across state chapters of the party, recorded overwhelming support for the president from APC supporters in many states, further cementing his hold on the ruling party ahead of the 2027 contest. The presidential primary concludes the APC's internal electoral process ahead of preparations for the next phase of the party's political activities. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has cleared former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, and former banker Mohammed Hayatuddin for its presidential primary scheduled for Monday, May 25. A statement by the ADC National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, said the primary would hold in all the wards across the 774 local government areas in the country. Abdullahi further disclosed that 513 candidates have been cleared for the House of Representatives, 109 for the Senate, and 80 candidates for the gubernatorial primaries. Addressing party stalwarts at a town hall for ADC members in North Central over the weekend, one of the presidential aspirants, Hayatuddin, said the exercise would determine whether the opposition party is actually serious about rescuing the country. He said that the party is facing a defining choice between serious leadership and recycled politics. The former Vice President of Nigeria and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, has urged the Nigerians to channel their acts of charity and philanthropy towards creating opportunities that will bring people out of poverty. Osinbajo, who delivered the 10th anniversary memorial lecture in honor of the late traditional ruler of Adoachi in Oji River local government area of ENUGU State, Igwe Vincent Ilo, stated that efforts should be made to make people engage in income-generating activities instead of making them perpetually dependent. He urged governments, institutions, business leaders, and citizens to invest in structures and create lasting opportunities for people.
So the future of social impact lies not only in helping people survive hardship, but in empowering them to overcome hardship. In empowering them to overcome hardship permanently. This is the shift that we must embrace. From transactional giving to transformational investment in the lives of people and communities. From temporary relief to long-term resilience, from dependence to empowerment, from charity as sympathy to charity as strategy. So sustainable social impact begins when we stop asking merely how much did we give and start asking what systems did we change. A bag of food may feed a family for a week, but access to education, to skills, to financing, and opportunity can transform generations. Building a shelter may save lives today, but building affordable, inclusive, and sustainable communities creates stability for decades. Donating to schools is commendable, but reforming educational systems Investing in teachers, in digital access, in innovation creates lasting national development. This is the difference between relief and renewal. Good philanthropy in the 21st century must become catalytic. It must ignite possibilities to be sustainable, and it must strengthen systems rather than seek to replace them. It must create ecosystems of people to become architects of their own future. So the future of social impact lies not only in helping people.
Oshibanjo observed that corruption and acts of impunity in both private and public life have continued to deprive many citizens of resources meant to improve their well-being, thereby worsening hardship across communities. He therefore called for reforms that would strengthen institutions and educational systems to create pathways that would make such institutions more responsive to the needs of the people.
We need philanthropy that supports innovation, that supports entrepreneurship, that supports education, healthcare, that supports sustainable housing and inclusive economic growth. We need investments that create jobs, that strengthen institutions, investments that empower women and young people, and prepare future generations for a rapidly changing world. Perhaps it is time for us all, leaders, institutions, businesses, and citizens, to rethink what it means to give. I think it is time for us to move beyond charity, because that only alleviates suffering. We can actually build systems that eliminate the causes of suffering. We can move from the occasional acts of kindness to enduring structures of opportunity. We need philanthropy.
The memorial lecture attracted traditional rulers, political leaders, academics, business figures, members of the Achi community, and friends and colleagues of the Ilo family members. The Kwara State Police commanders confirmed the killing of 3 worshippers and the abduction of 15 others following a deadly attack by armed assailants at a prayer ground in Ekiti local government area of the state. Sources in the area disclosed that the terrorists stormed the community in large numbers, attacking worshippers and residents before fleeing through nearby forest routes. The attack, which occurred on Saturday night at Orioke Ajayi axis of the local government area, threw surrounding communities into panic. Confirming the incident in a statement issued on Sunday in Ilorin by the spokesperson for the Kwara State Police Command, Adetun Ajeri Adeyemi, described the attack as gruesome and condemnable. Speaking on the development, the Commissioner of Police, Adekemi Ojo, explained that the incident was reported to the authorities by Pastor Adebayo Abiondu, who was conducting a night vigil with members of his congregation when the gunmen struck. The police boss disclosed that operatives attached to the Ekiti division immediately mobilized to the scene after the distress report was received, and assured that the command is fully committed to ensuring the rescue of all victims and the apprehension of the perpetrators behind the heinous act. The command urged members of the public to remain calm and support security agencies with credible information that could aid ongoing rescue and security operations. The federal government has allayed fears that the adoption of AI technology would lead to job losses in the public service. The Director General of the National Information Technology, The Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Kashifu Inowa, made the revelation at the 2026 International Civil Service Conference held in Abuja. Inowa, who was represented by the Director, Stakeholder Management and Partnership Department, Dr. Aristotle Onumo, noted that the AI technology should be viewed as a tool for the advancement of productivity rather than a threat to human relevance. He, however, noted that the jobs of people who refuse to upskill themselves may eventually be affected when those willing to retain and adapt will benefit immensely from AI. He said that NITDA had commenced agency-wide AI capacity building programs for all staff members being transformed by automation, were being reassigned and redesignated into emerging AI-related functions. He explained that the importance of maintaining human oversight in AI deployment, warning against the complete removal of human intelligence and accountability from governance systems. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunja Lausa, says the ongoing foundational reforms in Nigeria's education sector aimed at empowering Nigerian youths and preparing them for global employment opportunities. The minister made the remarks during a bilateral meeting with the UK Minister of State for Skills, Baroness Smith, on the sidelines of the 2026 Education World Forum in London, which focused on expanding practical cooperation in skills development, technical and vocational education, digital learning, and workforce readiness. Allows said the Federal Ministry of Education is aligning education reforms directly with labour market needs to ensure young Nigerians are better prepared for emerging economic opportunities, with sectors such as clean energy, healthcare, engineering, digital technology, and artificial intelligence receiving priority attention. In her response, Baroness Smith commended Nigeria's education reforms and welcomed deeper bilateral cooperation in skills development. She also pledged to advocate sustained United Kingdom support for the Global Partnership for Education ahead of the September 2026 replenishment campaign. Suspect killed after opening fire on Secret Service near White House. Russian attacks on Kyiv kill at least 4 people. Details from the international scene.
Here is a public service announcement. The ENUGU State Waste Management Authority, ESWAMA, wishes to inform the general public that this month's cleanup exercise will hold on Saturday, May 30th, 2026 from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. During this period, there will be strict restriction of movement for both people and vehicles, except for those on essential duties who must present valid means of identification or official ESWAMA pass. Environmental court will be on duty and defaulters will be arrested and prosecuted promptly. All early morning spotting activities, loading and offloading of passengers in motor parks, and other commercial activities across the state are to be suspended during the exercise. Meanwhile, ESWAMA wants to remind the public that the payment of sanitation rates for 2026 for both commercial and private residents is ongoing. Kindly make your payment in any commercial bank of your choice or at the ESWAMA office at number 7 Ridgeway Road, GRA, Enugu. For inquiries, please call or WhatsApp us on 0813-553-4440. ESWAMA, a cleaner tomorrow, today. Signed, Richard Onaga, Managing Director.
At least 20 people have been killed and 7 others injured in an explosion targeting a train transporting military personnel in Pakistan. The blast occurred while the train was traveling through Chaman Fatak station in Quetta, the capital of Western Balochistan region, on Sunday morning. Railway officials disclosed that 3 coaches and the engine were derailed while 2 were overturned. The shuttle service had primarily been transporting service personnel and their families who had been returning home for aid. The Balochistan Liberation Army separatist group claimed responsibility for the attack, saying it was a suicide bombing. Images from the scene show burnt out and mangled carriages and nearby cars, as well as bomb damage to a nearby building. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif strongly condemned the attack, saying such cowardly acts of terrorism cannot weaken the resolve of the people of Pakistan, assuring that the entire nation stands in solidarity with the people of Balochistan in this hour of grief. A suspect who shot at a White House checkpoint was killed in an exchange of fire with Secret Service agents on Saturday evening. Officials gave the name of the suspect as Nasir Best, a 21-year-old man who was known to the Protection Agency and had a documented history of mental health conditions. A source disclosed that Best had attempted to gain entry to the White House in July 2025 and had been arrested by officers nearby, after which he spent time at a psychiatric facility. U.S. President Donald Trump thanked the officers for their swift and professional action in apprehending the gunman, who he said in a Truth Social post had a violent history and possible obsession with the country's most cherished structure. The shooting comes only a month after a gunman opened fire at the White House during a dinner with correspondents. No officers were injured in the attack, but a bystander was wounded in the shooting, without further details on the condition. United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio says significant progress has been made in talks to end the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. hours after President Donald Trump claimed that a memorandum of understanding to end the fighting was largely negotiated. Rubio, who was on his first official visit to India, said on Sunday that the merging deal would address Trump's concerns about the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has largely blocked since the US and Israel launched their war on February 28. He said the agreement will also start a process that can ultimately lead to where the president wants, which is a world that no longer has to fear or worry about an Iranian nuclear weapon. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency, which is close to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, said that under a potential memorandum of understanding, the number of vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz would return to pre-war levels within weeks. Tasnim said the U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports must be completely lifted within 30 days, according to the potential memorandum of understanding, and that at least part of Iran's frozen funds must be released in the first phase of the agreement. The agency also reported that potential deal includes an end to the war on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Russia has hit Kyiv and its surrounding areas with massive missiles and drone attacks, killing 4 people and wounding more than 60. Russia confirmed on Sunday it had launched an Oryzhnik hypersonic ballistic missile at Ukraine in the overnight strikes, the third time the nuclear-capable weapon has been used in the 4-year war. Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement that the attacks, which was in response to Ukraine's terrorist attacks on civilian infrastructure on Russian territory, also involved Iskander air-launched ballistic missiles, hypersonic air-launched ballistic and cruise missiles, as well as drones. Explosions started just after 1 a.m. on Sunday, following warnings by Ukraine's Air Force that Russia might launch a hypersonic ballistic missiles. The Ukraine Air Force said the air defenses destroyed and jammed 549 drones and 55 missiles, while 19 other missiles failed to reach their targets. Kyiv Military Administration said that damage was recorded in 40 locations across several districts of the capital, including residential buildings. Coming up next is sports news. Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, are expected to return to the country on Sunday following their impressive 5-0 victory over Guinea in the first leg of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers in Cote d'Ivoire. The team is scheduled to depart Cote d'Ivoire on Sunday with a stopover in Lomé, Togo, before arriving in Lagos. Following their arrival, head coach Hakim Busari and his players are expected to return to their training base in Ekene to begin preparations for the decisive second leg encounter against Guinea. The Flamingos produced a dominant display on Saturday's first leg tie, thrashing Guinea 5-0 to take a significant advantage into the return fixture. The second leg of the qualifier will take place in Nigeria on May 31, with the aggregate winner securing a place in the next stage of the qualification campaign for the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Morocco. Morocco's King Mohammed VI has granted a royal pardon to several Senegalese football supporters who were convicted during the Africa Cup of Nations held in Morocco. The decision was announced as a gesture of goodwill, brotherhood, and solidarity between the Kingdom of Morocco and Senegal, further strengthening the relationship between the two African nations.
You don't tire for this picture? Oh yeah, make you follow Unorodo. Nigeria don't go digital with free TV. Over 100 channels they with you. Sport, news, and better entertainment for your own language. No matter where you dey, whether for city or whether for village, the satellite signal they reach every corner of Nigeria from day one. No monthly payment again. Once you get to go get free to air decoder, you don't win. This one, now our own national asset. Even from your phone, you feel watch out. Just download the free TV app and carry your TV go anywhere you dey go. Scan that code now or call 0700-388-7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by MBC.
Nigeria's Under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, are expected to return to the country on Sunday following their impressive 5-0 victory over Guinea in the first leg of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers in Côte d'Ivoire. The team is scheduled to depart Côte d'Ivoire on Sunday with a stopover in Lomé, Togo, before arriving in Lagos. Following their arrival, head coach Hakim Busari and his players are expected to return to their training base in Ekene to begin preparations for the decisive second leg encounter against Guinea. The Flamingos produced a dominant display on Saturday's first leg tie, thrashing Guinea 5-0 to take a significant advantage into the return fixture. The second leg of the qualifier will take place in Nigeria on May 31, with the aggregate winner securing a place in the next stage of the qualification campaign for the 2026 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Morocco. Morocco's King Mohammed VI has granted a royal pardon to several Senegalese football supporters who were convicted during the Africa Cup of Nations held in Morocco. The decision was announced as a gesture of goodwill, brotherhood, and solidarity between the Kingdom of Morocco and Senegal, further strengthening the relationship between the two African nations. The pardoned supporters were among fans arrested during incidents linked to the continental tournament. Details surrounding the number of beneficiaries and the nature of the convictions were not immediately disclosed. The move has been widely welcomed in Senegal, with many describing it as a diplomatic and humanitarian gesture that reflects the strong ties between both countries. Manchester United midfielder Bruno Fernandes was named Premier League Player of the Season on Saturday. Fernandes has qualified the record for the most assists in a single Premier League campaign with 20. The 31-year-old has also scored 8 league goals for United this team, helping Michael Carrick's third-placed team secure qualification for next season's Champions League. Fernandes is the first United player to win the award since Nemanja Matic in 2010 to 2011. He took the prize ahead of Arsenal's David Raya, Declan Rice, Manchester City's Erling Haaland, and Nottingham Forest's Morgan Gibbs-White. United captain Fernandes has already won this season's Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year award. In tennis, Emma Raducanu is hopeful her health issues are behind her as she prepares for her opening match at the French Open. The British number 1 takes on Argentina's Solana Sierra in the first round on Sunday in what will be just her second match since March. Following 2.5 months out with a post-viral illness, she lost a close contest with Diane Parry in her opening match in Strasbourg, but feeling healthy again is the most important thing for the 23-year-old. That's sports news on Signature TV. I am Christopher Lely. Nigerian Afrobeat singer and songwriter Ara Star has revealed that she wrote her hit song Biggie Biggie during a random public bus ride home. Speaking during a recent interview on the Criterion podcast, the Maven Records singer said she no longer relies on emotions before writing a song. She said that the process usually starts with testing ideas, whether through chords, sampled sounds, or creating something fresh and enjoyable. Speaking about her career, the singer said success in music requires passion, dedication, and discipline. She added that behind the glamour are long hours of work, intense rehearsals, and difficult moments, noting that a single sound problem on stage can ruin weeks of preparation. Nigerian actress Annie Macaulay has announced her return to acting, revealing plans for a new film project after stepping away from major productions for some time. The actress shared the news in an Instagram video from a movie set in ENUGU State, expressing her joy at the return of what she loves most. She expressed gratitude for growth, fresh opportunities, and the chance to keep telling stories through film, saying her passion for acting remains strong, describing it as a new beginning. According to her, being back on set, creating stories, becoming different characters, and doing what she truly loves reminds her of why she started the journey in the first place. The announcement marks a fresh chapter for Annie Macaulay following her divorce from her estranged husband, Nigerian singer Innocent Idibia, known as Tubaba. Nigerian actor and producer Kunle Remi has spoken openly about the emotional pressure of social media, revealing that he has recently considered logging out of Instagram. He describes the experience of logging into Instagram as exhausting, marked by heartbreaking news, disrespect, toxicity, and negativity. Despite wanting to leave social media, Remi said he cannot fully step away because his career now goes beyond acting, saying he now sees himself as a brand, a storyteller, an influencer, and a source of inspiration. The actor said he reminds himself that he still has joy, love, and stories to share, especially during difficult moments, pointing out that using social media lately feels emotionally overwhelming. Remi encouraged social media users to show kindness online and remain hopeful despite negativity, insisting that spreading positivity is now more important than ever. And that's the wrap on our global news story this Sunday. I'm Christopher Lely. Thanks for your time.
We are local.
International communities observing
Why the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The festival not only showcased the rich heritage of Igbo people, but also drew people from diverse backgrounds, fostering unity and cultural exchange. This annual celebration honors the harvest season with its splendor and accompanying musical display. As the community comes together, the festival strengthens bonds, preserves cultural identity, and inspires a sense of pride and belonging. In his remarks, Igwe Emmanuel Ugu, the Reverend Monarch of Iba Agwanike Kingdom, noted that the celebration is not just about the yam, but a testament to God's faithfulness.
We are celebrating, like what I said, what God has done to mankind at a time when the earth, the water, the air, and the fire, in combination unison, unite together in love to be able to give mankind food.
The chairman of the Hausa youth in ENUGU, Aliyu Adamu Kwankwaso, praised Igwe Emmanuel Ugu for his exemplary leadership, describing him as a unifying force that has brought people together through his accommodating and visionary approach.
Okay, my message to Igbo people is let them continue to support Igwe. Igwe is non-tribalistic Igwe. You can see we in the Hausa community.
A lecturer at Godfrey Okoye University, Ferdinand Danikwe, offered insightful perspectives on why yam is revered and celebrated in Igbo culture. According to him, yam is not just a staple crop, but symbolizes abundance, prosperity, and resilience.
One of the reasons our people celebrate yam is the fact that yam has been given a primary position, very powerful recognition all over Igbo land and beyond. We celebrate yam, and we call it the king of the farm. You see, in Igbo cultural anthropology, you find out that the yam plays a lot of roles.
A highlight of the New Yam Festival was the induction ceremony, during which some worthy individuals were sworn into the Igwe's cabinet.
The palace is a place where you invoke the power of God, and where you invoke and convoke the blessings of the Almighty God. So thank you. You're welcome as a member of this family.
What brought me here is to thank my father and to support him for the New Year Festival. But in the turnout of the event, I was officially adopted and indoctrinated into the royal familyhood.
I'm here because I'm one of the inductees, one of those that the Igwe has found worthy to become ambassadors of this great kingdom.
The New Yam Festival transformed the venue into a vibrant spectacle, with dazzling masquerade displays, captivating music, and dynamic dance performances that electrified the atmosphere. The Iba Agwanike women were not left out as they took the center stage, proudly showcasing their farm produce and celebrating the season's harvest. Beyond the cultural showcase, the festival also served as a platform for fostering peace, unity, and intercommunal relationships, drawing people from far and near. And for the Ibagwa people, it was a celebration of triumph of the community, as well as its culture and tradition. Gonowalo reporting for Signature Television.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with the diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. Signature TV, news in your pocket. Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with the diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day, we at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
WAEC is overrated, and they even overrated themselves and went into CBT. They are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives. New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me.
I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
It was a significant step towards addressing water supply challenges in ENUGU as Governor Peter Mbah and the French ambassador to Nigeria, Mark Fombasta, flagged off the construction of a 14.5-kilometer high-capacity water transmission pipeline. The project, which runs from Nsude to the terminal reservoir at Milken Hill, is designed to strengthen water distribution and ensure reliable supply to homes, businesses, and institutions across the metropolis. Speaking at the groundbreaking, the Secretary to the State Government, Chidebere Onya, who represented Governor Peter Mbah, described the initiative as a major milestone in the administration's commitment to delivering sustainable water supply to Enugu's residents. He noted that the project supported by the French Development Agency under the Third National Urban Water Sector Reforms Program would significantly improve public health, stimulate economic growth, and enhance the quality of life.
Represents a bold step in delivering on our promise to provide reliable and sustainable water supply to our people.
Earlier, Governor Peter Mbah reiterated his administration's resolve to ensure water reaches every part of the state capital, explaining that while water production has increased dramatically, efforts are now focused on strengthening distribution infrastructure.
We know that what they want to hear is that we've solved the problem. So it's not for us to tell them why this problem is difficult to do. We just want to get this solved.
The French ambassador Mark Fombasta disclosed that the government of France has made investment totaling over $340 million in Nigeria's water sector in the past decades. He described the project as a symbol of strong Franco-Nigerian cooperation, combining technical expertise, infrastructure development, and capacity building.
The construction of 130 kilometers of distribution network and 40,000 household connections will bring huge benefits to communities across the city.
The Commissioner for Water Resources, Ben Collins Ndu Jr., and the Managing Director of the ENUGU Water Corporation, Michael Machuku, expressed appreciation to the French government for its continued support.
This project, supported by the French Development Agency under the Third National Urban Water Sector Reform Program, is a clear demonstration of what strong partnerships and visionary leaderships can achieve.
This event is not just about the commencement of a construction project. It represents a bold and strategic step towards securing a sustainable, reliable, and efficient water supply system.
The contractor, Hilary Abaratu, assured that the project will be delivered unscheduled, and in line with global standards.
We want to announce to you that we have already done almost 60% of the work.
As work begins on the 14.5-kilometer pipeline, expectations are high that the project will mark a turning point in the delivery of potable water across Enugu metropolis. In Enugu, Chinemere Ikebunam, Signature TV News.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on E-Vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Bright and early, as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day, we at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
WAEC is overrated, and they even overrated themselves and went into CBT. They are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with the diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left, in all the accounts of Anambra State, 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on E-Vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on E-Vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative in Abuja has launched a report on technology, artificial intelligence, and civic engagement in Africa, revealing that Nigeria hosts more than 80 of the nearly 300 civic technology platforms identified across Africa. Programs Director of Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative, Halima Olufade, said despite Nigeria's leadership in civic technology, most platforms still have limited use of artificial intelligence tools. The report also revealed that only 49 of the civic technology products surveyed across Africa were genuinely AI-driven, according to the organization. Mobile phones, SMS and USSD platforms remain the most accessible civic engagement tools for millions of Africans without reliable internet access.
Nigeria and across Africa. We ride to AI digital strategies with citizens at the center. Stop treating technology as an end in itself. Name the structural problems that limit participation, such as inequality, exclusion, distrust, weak institutions, and address them directly. To civic technology developers, design for the citizens you actually have, not the citizens you wish you had. Build for SMS and USSD as deliberately as you build for the web. Localize. The most beautiful dashboard is worthless if it cannot reach the people whose life it is meant to improve. To donors and development partners, fund the unfashionable work. Digital literacy programs do not photograph as well as launch events. Policy advocacy moves more slowly than product development. But without these foundations, civic technology stays a parade of pilots that never scale. Invest in the boring work that makes the exciting work possible.
Director of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, Dr. Elizabeth Douglas, said Nigeria's recent global recognition in digital governance shows the country's growing role in promoting transparency and citizen partnership through technology. She, however, called for stronger government partnership with young innovators and civic technology organizations.
All the promise of technology in civic life, government engagement with youth-led innovation remains too often episodic, limited to consultations rather than co-creation, to applause rather than active partnership. If these two OGP awards mean anything, they must mean that Nigeria is now ready to go further. Sustainable nation building cannot happen without government choosing deliberately and consistently to partner with its citizens, in this case, especially with young people and the organizations that serve them, not just as beneficiaries to be managed, but as architects of the future that we all say we want. That means resourcing youth-led civic technology. It means embedding youth organizations in policy design from the onset, not after decisions have already been made. It means treating Nigeria's Open Government Partnership National Action Plan as a living accountability instrument, one with real traceable commitments attached to it. The framework exists. What is required now is the political will to fully inhabit it.
Representing the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, Abdullahi Abubakar, said artificial intelligence presents both opportunities and risks for governance and public engagement. He noted that Nigeria is developing ethical guidelines for the use of AI focused on accountability, transparency, and inclusion.
I strongly believe that Africa must not merely consume emerging technologies, we must actively shape how they are governed, deployed, and aligned with our developmental realities and values. Nigeria has continued to take deliberate steps in this direction. Through the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, the agency is working to position Nigeria as a leading African hub for responsible AI innovation, research, talent development, infrastructure, and governance. We are also currently developing the Nigeria's guideline for the ethical development and deployment of artificial intelligence, which is anchored on principles such as accountability, transparency, human oversight, safety, data protection, fairness, and risk-based approach to AI adoption.
Stakeholders at the event agreed that Africa must move beyond merely consuming emerging technologies and instead develop systems and policies that reflect the continent's realities, cultures, and democratic aspirations. In Abuja, Chimize Zadima, reporting for Signature Television.
At independence in 1960, Nigeria was a nation of the same British colonial governance experience.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome to the new week. This is Monday, the 25th day of May, 2026. Welcome to Signature Morning on Signature TV. What a great way to start the day. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha. And, this morning, it's quite important to talk about this security situation in the country because recently, a lot of images have been circulating online, particularly about the children that were kidnapped in Oyo State. And it's quite an emotional one because, these pictures reportedly show torture and brutal treatment of these children in the forest. I mean, I saw pictures of children with scars and marks on their back, apparently from hot rubber or something of the sort. And it's quite sad and painful to see such minors. I mean, an adult can barely handle such pain, not to talk of children. And only God knows, the level of trauma and pain. And it brings the question as to what exactly is happening in this country. What exactly is being done, to rectify this situation, find these children, rescue them. There are a lot of talks about security surveillance and improving the security structure and what is being done to make the country secure, but it seems to get worse every day. And when we see pictures like this and videos like this circulating online, I mean, one can only wonder what would happen next. At this point, there is nothing that cannot happen in this country as it stands. Well, let's just look at what we have on the headlines this morning and also review them as always. So do stay tuned, as when we come back from this break, we'll go straight into our newspaper headlines and review. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Signature Morning, and now looking at what we have on the headlines. We'll start off with the Nigerian Tribune. And it says, Tinubu, we will place Nigeria on irreversible path of economic expansion with another 4 years, with rider as he gets certificate of return for winning APC presidential primary. Over to the Nation. It says on page 2, Tinubu wins with 10.9 million votes. Now to the Punch newspaper. The Punch says on page 7, APC primaries, Tinubu polls 10.9 million votes to clinch presidential ticket. And on the 2027 race, Atiku picks Tinubu's challenger today. On page 2, Atiku, Amechi, Hayatuddin fight for party's presidential flag. And on the Daily Trust newspaper, the major headline says, ADC presidential primaries, Atiku, Amechi, Hayatuddin battle for ticket. Nigeria remains World Bank's third largest borrower with $18.5 billion. Disruptions loom as NCAA places airlines on no service order. Eid el-Kabir, commuters spend hours on Abuja-Kaduna highway. And on pages 5 and 6, APC primaries, governors outdo one another as Tinubu nets over 10 million votes. Now looking at the Guardian newspaper, it still says Tinubu to sustain reforms after APC's 10.9 million votes. And the Vanguard says 2027, 31 APC governors endorsed Tinubu with 10.99 million votes. And the president says we won't allow opposition with no clear vision to take Nigeria backward. On page 11, absence of insurance cover for airports exposes FG to losses, compensation claims. And on page 8, Nigeria at high risk of Ebola virus importation. And on almost all the newspapers this morning, we see President Bola Tinubu's appreciation for, being the flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress. That is also one of the highlights on all the papers this morning. And that covers the major headlines on our newspapers. So let's review these headlines with Chris Maduka. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Richard. And good morning, my dear people. Welcome to another day of newspaper review, Signature Television.
Of course.
Signature Morning.
Well, we don't have much headlines today because all the newspapers just carry that Tinubu wins 10.9 million votes in the APC primaries to clinch presidential tickets.
It's assuring that we do not have much on the newspaper. All we have is thank you, Nigerians, thank you, and 10.9 million. So Nigeria problem is over. We are hulala, we are there, the hulu. APC, the central ruling party, has returned the incumbent president with 10.9 million votes. And that's Nigerian problem solved. And I'm happy. So congratulations, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, for being returned. Some newspapers say you have been given return or a certificate of return. And that is very wonderful, showing that you are doing very well from the eyes of people who returned you. For a democratic country, if your party returns you, it's wonderful. It means that party believes in you. But then which other people returned you? That's what those lies that should be looked into, because people are telling you, your party will tell you, you are loved, we are bringing in and all. Let's not go into how the return is made, how the numbers are counted. From the viral video we saw, how the APC primaries were done, it was beautiful. What transparent accountability we saw playing out in those viral videos. I can have a lot in my phone, I can show you. So it shows that we are making headway. Congratulations, APC, Central Ruling Party. But do you know that when the hunter is aiming for the game, the fly is aiming for the hunter's bad side? And that is what politics is all about. So they shouldn't forget that. It's not here to huru when you want to balance other things. So it's unfortunate that out of all the problems in Nigeria, what all the newspapers in Nigeria reported today is APC primary returning president. And that shows we do not have problems. And then, for instance, who is begging for problems? It's not every day that we'll be here shouting for problems. Let us toast for once to the incumbent president, Jagaban, for being returned. I only say that the game is not over. Your party returned you. And allow other parties to return their own candidates. So let's go to the pool for clean and clear, just like let what happened, the returning and the primaries. The Nigerian national election is bigger than party primaries. Until we realize that, and until we know that we are not going to make it business as usual as it happened in the return of primaries among the other parties, that we have a bigger issue to handle, which is national election, where we are thinking about, on the average, over 60 million eligible Nigerians going to go to the polls to elect their president. So it's it's a developing story. The way we call it in the broadcasting, this is a developing story. So let's move on.
And the ADC too also have their presidential primaries. Atiku, Amechi, and Hayatuddin are also battling for the ticket.
The word I had to hear from the newspapers, these people are going to primaries to elect their flag bearer too. Why is it battling? It's not a battle. Why are we pulling things where it's not there? The battle we have in Nigeria is insecurity. We do not have battles amongst political parties. What we have there is deception, horse trading, lies, making waves in Nigerian political atmosphere. All the political structures, political parties in Nigeria are filled with lies. There's no battle. Nobody is battling anybody. They're only trying to outdo each other. We know in battle what and what go into battle. Armor tanks, guns, knives, machete, every other thing. But in Nigerian political scene, did you use lies and deceptions and horse trading and carpeting as describe it as lies? The battle is not. If it's battle, they're battling against themselves, so they should keep it. I would not, it's the way Nigerian newspaper sensationalize issues. Why is nobody battled in APC? Why was there no battle in NDC? Is there battle in PRP and other parties, AC? Have we forgotten their political parties and there? Why is this battle for ADC? It shows there's something, it's marks. Why are they sensational? We have battle where the Nigerian children are in the terrorist den. And some people are being beheaded, some are being raped, and some people are being abused. You complain about the torture video that's going around with holes in the body of young Nigerian children who went to school, and their somebody's children are the politicians who are doing this. None of their children are in Nigeria. And all the newspapers are capturing today is Abuja 2027. And they think it is fair. And they think it's beautiful. And think Nigeria problem is solved. I want Nigerian problem solved. But our leaders and people will commit to lead and govern Nigeria must show this sensibility. They must show empathy. They must feel what their people they are leading feels. When they don't feel it, that's where we have issues. And only God will settle that. Because, like I used the allusion, the hunter aiming for the game. We, the electorate, that is where all these issues are, all the things becomes equal, where the electorate are allowed, will be aiming for the bad side of the politician. Because we will not forget, when you speak, the person you told might not forget, but you that have spoken might forget. These lies they tell us to cajole people for another voting time, they might forget the lie they told us the other side and come back to tell another lies. But they've told lies over time, we'll be remembering all these lies. And one day, we will have opportunity of paying them back. We pay them back with the lies. Because the lies can only multiply lies and bring back lies.
On the Daily Trust newspaper, it says that Nigeria remains World Bank's third largest borrower with $18.5 billion.
Let me see where Nigeria makes a mark. Wow! We have won World Bank, because if you are the first highest borrower from World Bank, what other World Cup do you need to earn? This is a wonderful thing. We should celebrate it. You should bring in champagne to this program. So when we get such news, when we toast with champagne, Nigeria, we held it. Keep it up. Borrow more. If there are other banks more than World Bank, please make sure you rank among the highest borrowers from those banks, because that's what only thing we cannot be failure in all round if we cannot be first in production, if we cannot be first in welfare, if we cannot be first in security of our citizens, let us be first in borrowing from all the borrowing agencies of the world. So it's a good thing. But before I'm misunderstood, we must understand that he who goes above goes so. That's what my master told me. What does it mean? He who goes a borrowing goes a sorrowing. No wonder Nigeria is also highest country of the world that are sorrowing. Because if you score highest in borrowing, you score highest in sorrowing. It figures. So are you looking for where our problems are? If World Bank, the world premium borrowing banking organization in Nigeria, that are Shylocks, that always looking for the pound of flesh, you are their highest borrower. And you're expecting that you'll be the highest developed nation. They don't intend for you to develop. Just keep borrowing. They will create situations that Nigeria will keep borrowing, and it's almost satanic of them. They don't give us anything. All they will give us, any day you see World Bank commenting about Nigeria, they will tell you where our defects are, so that they will pop up fear in your mind, though you go back to borrow. Are they feeding our leaders on cocaine of borrowing? Can they do what they call withdrawal syndrome to leave us a little from borrowing, so that we look inwards? Nigeria is a nation that live at the beach, but we wash our hands with saliva. It's an error. That error, we are not saying anybody is in charge. We are all involved. Error of borrowing and importing toothpicks and biscuits and handkerchiefs. Borrowing to import hardware and software. We borrow and we are no more. I was reading one spoken word, beautiful rendered by one man. He said, where are the granite pyramids? Where are the palm plantations in eastern Nigeria? Where are those things? Where are the factories? The factories that are booming in Aba, booming, the butter factories in Lagos, where the USCs, where you have factories in machine booming, and we are in university hoping that immediately you finish, you're choosing companies to go and work for. All those things are gone. And our leaders are interested in going back, sitting down one place, whatever left that we sold from the stolen oil, thrown there and bring it back. They share it among themselves to make sure their condition is okay. And we think this will continue for too long. If it's okay, if God sanctioned it and is okay by it's okay. But I know the majority of Nigerians are crying and saying it's not okay. You can go to the field and conduct a survey. It's not the kind of survey we have in party primaries. We saw some party primaries where people are counting 1, 2, 3, 100, 1,000, 1 million, like that, and they were videoing this and showing the world. That's why I said, have we gotten to that level of shamelessness? If you serious political holders hold posters of who they are supporting in a viral video going that is not AI, people are counting of people who line up to vote. And probably those such figures might be what they have put together in reporting whoever they've returned and all. It's incredible. It's incredible. Children we are bringing up are learning what you would never imagine Satan will teach his own children. And we are hoping that Nigeria will get better. I've not lost all the hope. If I have, I won't be here talking. I am here because I'm a stakeholder, and I believe that we can do something, because some of us know what to do and refuse to do it. That's why you find me most of the time with this passion and energy talking about Nigeria issue. Unless paper headline, because I don't manufacture any of them. After all, I'm not the person who returned the president. I'm not the person who is campaigning for ADC, who will be flag bearer. I'm not the person who is in charge of bandits and terror in Nigeria. I'm not the person who made us to be buying fuel, refined petroleum product at 2,000 naira a night. I'm not. The situation which all of us are involved made it. But we know that Nigeria has become a clear case of animal farm, where some animals are more equal than the others.
Right. Now, disruptions loom as NCAA places airlines on no service order. And the Vanguard also adds that the absence of insurance cover for airports exposes FG to losses and compensation claims.
This is a critical issue. You know, this one, they say, once you hear disruption room, before the day runs out, the federal government and the people in authority will deal with it, because that's the only way they used to travel. They won't tolerate such destruction. But if you ask me, disruption as it has happened in our Nigerian roads should happen in Nigerian airports. If it's possible, let it happen in maritime transport. Any means of transport we have in Nigeria, let's get it down and start all over. It's not only Abalomo, the Odara tree, that bears children that they press them out. It's not only we that travel through Nigerian roads that should be complaining of insecurity, high transport, and a lot of bad roads and all. and the people, our leaders only fly. Every 5 minutes they fly and land, fly again. And the little security we have, we escort them, armored vehicles back to their base, and that they fly. And we, the Red 8, will be battling with. Let it get to everybody. They will think why I'm wickedness, because we have said it the way we said it. They should look into it. What are the National Assembly doing with all the issues in Nigeria, apart from defecting and rolling over and returning and these are all they're talking about, why Nigeria is bleeding and burning. Is it not human beings that are being killed? Is it not human beings that are suffering all this? So as far as I'm concerned, I am praying for disruption in air services. Let Nigeria come once to a standstill and we replan. If some people find a way of moving around, doing what they're doing, they won't feel it until road crumble, maritime crumble, airport crumble. If we are talking, everybody, it will be like that bad thing that smells, heat in the ceiling fan. It will blow around. If you don't smell it, it will touch you. So that we feel. Until Nigerians and our leaders start feeling the same way, these anomalies will continue. It has gotten to that point.
Right. Now, one more headline, I think the last one. NCDC has come out to say that Nigeria is at high risk of Ebola virus importation.
I said it one time. I said, immediately we hear about the Ebola, because of the porousness of our borders, that NCDC should declare, as well they've had it in CRC Congo, immediately in our neighboring African countries. Nigeria is the most porous nation of the world. And when you ask about porousness, it's not that we don't have the immigration, securities, border securities and all. We have them. Whatever that is making Nigeria's situation internally not to work is what is making us at our borders not to work. I said I use one allusion. When Nigerians at the borders, how do these guns and machineries that the bandits are using and terrorists are using to fight Nigerians, where are they coming in from? Is it not from our borders? Did they fly in? These borders are both air and land borders, and even maritime borders. Are there not people there? So when this thing come, I said, if those hardwares can penetrate our borders and come in, what of sickness that is, oh God, that is intangible? How can someone, that one's, in fact, when Nigerians are known all over the world that anything goes. So it's not out of the way that CDC and CDC, are crying that, the Center for Disease Control, crying that Nigerian is at a high risk of Ebola. What we are saying, who is even sure the Ebola is not here yet, and some people are dying without records of it? Must Nigeria be a nation that will only run for rain after they have been drenched from head to the bottom? Is there no way we can, for once, strengthen ourselves and say, for God, for once, we reject bribery and corruption, sleaze, and all the red tapes, and begin to take charge and say, this is what I've done for my nation. And that brings back to the people in civil service and all the public service people in Nigeria. They have not helped matters. Because, like my father will say, they will leave the fault of Nwamboeke and talking about the fault of Nwamboye. Most civil public servants will be looking at politicians and they are the ones who have fault. Meanwhile, they have their own faults. Because when you're talking about bribery and corruption, it's like it's a resident or it's bred in public service and then sold to politicians. So Nigerians will share from the blame even when we talk about it. So let us be careful. This particular one, this particular one they call Ebola, is beyond bandit and terror, whether it's man-made or sponsored or some people are pushing it. In this case, both the big and small will be equalized. And once that happens, it means persecution for the second time. The Bible says not for the righteous, but this one now, who is righteous in Nigeria? When Nigeria need when God need to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah at the judgment day because of Nigeria. Because Nigeria, they call it Nigeria, it should have been another name that is very close to Sodom and Gomorrah. I won't swear that Nigeria has not surpassed Sodom and Gomorrah in abomination, in blood and satanic activities that is decimating what should be the happiest people on earth, and brought us to people who are living with our hearts in our mouth, thinking, pensive, looking back at all times, distrust, this hunger, hardship, so many things are problems. And we have leaders who are cocooned, like I used to use the word, in Abuja, only thinking about next electoral positions. But God help us.
All right, Chris, I think that sums up our newspaper headlines. We covered every single one on the newspapers this morning.
We have. We are not going to borrow. At least that's what newspaper gave us with talks before we are accused of manufacturing stories. We have finished newspaper headlines today. What is top on it is thank you, Nigerians, thank you, Nigerians, thank you, Nigerians. So let me say thank you, the people of the world that have joined us this morning. You have given me 2 million, 200 million votes. They returned me on the post. So I'm the flag bearer on Signature Morning Newspaper Review. So I thank you too for having given me that confidence to repeat and keep repeating this. Sorry for my efforts. I will make it in next dispensation. I'll make it up. I won't be shouting and showing so much passion. So I am saying that now that you told me the reform for making sure that newspaper review on Signature TV gets to the higher heights, So thank you and God bless you. Thank you, God bless you, my little angel Uche. Thank you, Signature TV. May God bless everybody. May God bless you. But remember that as we wait for God blessings are meant for those who God knows deserve to be blessed.
All right, thank you so much, Chris Maduka, for this wonderful review this morning. And that wraps up our newspaper headlines and review segment on Signature Morning. Do stay tuned as the show will be back after this break.
Here is a public service announcement. The ENUGU State Waste Management Authority, ESWAMA, wishes to inform the general public that this month's cleanup exercise will hold on Saturday, May 30th, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. During this period, there will be strict restriction of movement for both people and vehicles, except for those on essential duties, who must present valid means of identification or official ESWAMA pass. Environmental court will be on duty, and defaulters will be arrested and prosecuted promptly. All early morning spotting activities, loading and offloading of passengers in motor parks, and other commercial activities across the state are to be suspended during the exercise. Meanwhile, ESWAMA wants to remind the public that the payment of sanitation rates for 2026 for both commercial and private residents is ongoing. Kindly make your payment in any commercial bank of your choice or at the ESWAMA office at number 7 Ridgeway Road, GRA, Enugu. For inquiries, please call or WhatsApp us on 0813-553-4440. ESWAMA, a cleaner tomorrow, today. Signed, Richard Onaga, Managing Director.
New every morning on Signature TV, we open the day for you with needed energy, information, and required vibes to shape your day. From sizzling snippets of stories in various areas of life to intriguing conversations with net worth guests.
When you have people who have no track record becoming your leaders, you have a problem.
There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him.
Your day cannot be complete without Signature Morning on weekdays and Signature New Day on weekends. There is no better way to start your day except Signature Morning and Signature New Day every day on Signature TV.
Popular Nigerian hype man Real MC Fish has accused his ex-wife, actress Anita Joseph, of infidelity involving several influential men. MC Fish made the claim while reacting to the ongoing marital controversy involving media personality Frank Edoho and his wife Sandra Edoho. Frank had earlier accused Sandra of cheating on him with singer Chike. In response, Sandra also alleged that Frank was involved with several female celebrities, with both parties reportedly sharing evidence to support the accusation. Commenting on the situation, MC Fish advised men against tolerating infidelity in relationships. He further claimed that his marriage to Anita Joseph ended after he allegedly discovered she had been involved with multiple men, whose identities, according to him, would surprise many Nigerians if reviewed.
If I decide to even mention, the whole country will first stay on pause first. Like, everybody will first pause. Everybody will first pause. If I decide to mention names, her colleagues that were involved, her friends that come online. Oh, you are a queen, you are this one, you are this, that, you are a role model. We know what you.
Nigerian actress and filmmaker Toyin Abraham has expressed sadness over the recent killings and abduction involving teachers and children in Oyo State. In a statement shared on her Instagram page, the actress described the situation as heartbreaking, noting that the violence in Oyo State and other parts of Nigeria had left many families grieving and communities traumatized. Toyin Abraham stated that the tragedy felt personal to her because of her strong connection to Oyo State through family, culture, and her love for the people. She also sympathized with the family of the victims, especially the parents of abducted children, and those affected by the recent attack in Orire local government area and other parts of the state. While commending security agencies and the Oyo State government for their efforts, she called for many urgent and decisive measures to secure the release of those still in captivity and improve the protection of lives and communities. Toyin Abraham further urged the government to take stronger steps to prevent future attacks, adding that Nigerians must remain united, support one another, and continue advocating for peace across the country. The development comes after reports that a male teacher abducted in Oyo State was allegedly beheaded by his captors, while at least 10 persons were reportedly killed in separate attacks in Oyo State and Katsina State. Similarly, Laide Olabanji Ace, Nollywood actor and CEO of Liban Films International, has criticized the administration of President Bola Tinubu over what he described as the government's failure to protect the lives and property of Nigerians. The filmmaker reacted to the worsening insecurity across the country, particularly the recent killing of a teacher who was reportedly beheaded in Oyo State, as well as the continuous attack and killings by bandits in Plateau State. Olabanji questioned the government's commitment to the welfare and safety of citizens, lamenting the persistent bloodshed and what he described as the administration's lack of urgency and responsiveness to the security crisis. In a video shared on his Instagram page, the actor expressed frustration over the rising number of deaths across the country, accusing the government of failing to address the suffering of Nigerians. He also stated that beyond issues such as poor electricity supply, bad roads, hunger, and high fuel prices, the government should at least prioritize the security of lives and property. Olabanji further stressed that Nigeria was bleeding as citizens continued to fall victim to bandits and kidnappers, while calling for an end to the killings across the country. That's the entertainment news. Queen F. Nwokonta, Signature TV News.
Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Chigichi Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative in Abuja has launched a report on technology, artificial intelligence, and civic engagement in Africa, revealing that Nigeria hosts more than 80 of the nearly 300 civic technology platforms identified across Africa. Programs Director of Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative, Halima Olufade, said despite Nigeria's leadership in civic technology, most platforms still have limited use of artificial intelligence tools. The report also revealed that only 49 of the civic technology products surveyed across Africa were genuinely AI-driven, according to the organization. Mobile phones, SMS, and USSD platforms remain the most accessible civic engagement tools for millions of Africans without reliable internet access.
Nigeria and across Africa. We ride to AI digital strategies with citizens at the center. Stop treating technology as an end in itself. Name the structural problems that limit participation, such as inequality, exclusion, distrust, weak institutions, and address them directly. To civic technology developers, design for the citizens you actually have, not the citizens you wish you had. Build for SMS and USSD as deliberately as you build for the web. Localize. The most beautiful dashboard is worthless if it cannot reach the people whose life it is meant to improve. To donors and development partners, fund the unfashionable work. Digital literacy programs do not photograph as well as launch events. Policy advocacy moves more slowly than product development. But without these foundations, civic technology stays a parade of titles that never scale. Invest in the boring work that makes the exciting work possible.
Director of the Nigeria Youth Futures Fund, Dr. Elizabeth Douglas, said Nigeria's recent global recognition in digital governance shows the country's growing role in promoting transparency and citizen partnership through technology. She, however, called for stronger government partnership with young innovators and civic technology organizations.
All the promise of technology in civic life, government engagement with youth-led innovation remains too often episodic, limited to consultations rather than co-creation, to applause rather than active partnership. If these two OGP awards mean anything, they must mean that Nigeria is now ready to go further. Sustainable nation building cannot happen without government choosing deliberately and consistently to partner with its citizens, in this case, especially with young people and the organizations that serve them, not just as beneficiaries to be managed, but as architects of the future that we all say we want. That means resourcing youth-led civic technology. It means embedding youth organizations in policy design from the onset, not after decisions have already been made. It means treating Nigeria's Open Government Partnership National Action Plan as a living accountability instrument, one with real traceable commitments attached to it. The framework exists. What is required now is the political will to fully inhabit it.
Representing the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, Abdullahi Abubakar, said artificial intelligence presents both opportunities and risks for governance and public engagement. He noted that Nigeria is developing ethical guidelines for the use of AI focused on accountability, transparency, and inclusion.
I strongly believe that Africa must not merely consume emerging technologies, we must actively shape how they are governed, deployed, and aligned with our developmental realities and values. Nigeria has continued to take deliberate steps in this direction. Through the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, the agency is working to position Nigeria as a leading African hub for responsible AI innovation, research, talent development, infrastructure, and governance. We are also currently developing the Nigeria's guideline for the ethical development and deployment of artificial intelligence, which is anchored on principles such as accountability, transparency, human oversight, safety, data protection, fairness, and risk-based approach to AI adoption.
Stakeholders at the event agreed that Africa must move beyond merely consuming emerging technologies and instead develop systems and policies that reflect the continent's realities, cultures, and democratic aspirations. In Abuja, Chimize Zadima, reporting for Signature Television.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Welcome back to Signature Morning, and it's time for our first topic of conversation this morning, looking at the 2027 political build-up. This time around, we're talking about what Niger Delta is bringing to the negotiation table. And joining us via Zoom this morning is Chief Ominimini Obiowebi, who is the spokesperson, PANDEF. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, as you know, conversations around 2027 are growing and are building up. In your opinion, where exactly does the Niger Delta stand politically in all of these movements and alignments? What is the mood of the Niger Delta people? Where do they stand at the moment?
At the moment, the Niger Delta people feel that they are not in the scheme of things in Nigeria because the things we fought for, our leaders fought for at independence, they are nowhere to be found. Before the independence of Nigeria in 1960, we were the minority. And that led to the setup of the Willis Commission. And at independence, we negotiated for a country where everybody will control their resources and pay tax to the center. At the moment, you now have Nigeria government collecting our resources 100% and give us what is called 30%. Even that 30% is not up to 30%, because by the time you remove what the IOC collects, it is the remaining they give us 30% from. Therefore, Niger Delta people are canvassing that we should control our resources, just like the way Northerners take 100% of their resources. The Northerners take 100% of their lithium, of their gold, of their tin. And in Niger Delta, the federal government is breathing on our oil and gas and share to the entire Nigeria. So we are calling for resource control. It is only through federalism, resource control, that can of Niger Delta. We are also saying that the constitution of this country, which is called 1999 Constitution, is not a true constitution of the people. The constitution we had last, which is the People's Constitution, is the 1963 Constitution. before the military came in 1966. So we should revert back to the 1963 Constitution that provides for true federalism, where people control their resources and pay tax to the center, where people grow at their own pace. That is what we, the people of Niger Delta, want. You cannot allow artisanal gold mining and disallow artisanal refining of what we call coal fire in Niger Delta. As far as you allow the ED resources 100% in northern Nigeria by collecting their gold, the government should allow us to control our resources. We are ready to pay tax to the center. So the 1999 Constitution has failed woefully because it was dictated by the military and handed over to Nigeria. So they said in that Constitution that we, the people of Nigeria, there was never a time where we, the people of Nigeria, met and wrote that 1999 Constitution. So that commencement phrase, we, the people of Nigeria, is false, and it cannot stand the test of time. That is why you see things are upside down. So at the moment, we, the people of Niger Delta, are aligning with leadership that can give us the control of our resources, which is called resource control. And we pay tax to the center for the center to maintain territorial integrity and international diplomacy. That exclusive list as enshrined in 1999 Constitution is too much for the federal government. We are aligning with any leadership that can devolve power to the state, which is the sub-unit, sub-national, or what can be called federative unit. We want a country with federative unit that control their resources and pay tax to the center. For example, President ENUGU has read out the ports that will be rehabilitated. We have 3 ports in Delta. We have Burutu Port, we have Saple Port, and we have Warri Port. None of these 3 ports are touched. So we are calling on President ENUGU to ensure that the ports that have been earmarked for rehabilitation, revamping, Saple Port is included, Burutu Port is included, and Warri Port is included. The colonial master established Burutu Port, Saple Port before moving to Lagos. But today, it is only Lagos Port that is functioning. And because we have been crying that they should revamp the ports in Niger Delta, that is why they come up with the political revamping of some ports in Niger Delta. But we know it's political because the money the federal government borrowed from United Kingdom is channeled towards the rehabilitation of ports in Lagos. They did not include ports in Niger Delta. Now that election is coming by, they are now saying they want to revamp some ports in Niger Delta. It's purely political. We want to see what they will do between now and election, because it is not just saying it with mouth. You must take action and let it work.
All right,
Chief
Obiobi, if you can hear me now, you've spoken about the things that need to be done in the Niger Delta, particularly with regards to resource control and also the ports as well. But let's talk about the negotiating power of the Niger Delta, because what leverage does Niger Delta have? What would you say are the biggest bargaining chips that the Niger Delta brings into this 2027 conversation that would push for these reforms and changes that you've spoken about?
We are aligning at the moment with political parties that can deliver our mission and vision. We have discovered clearly that the APC will not do Niger Delta good. From what we have seen and what we are saying, the Niger Delta development is not on the agenda of the All Progressive Congress. That is why we are now discussing with political parties that have our interests at heart. At the moment, we have a merging political party. We have NDC, Nigeria Democratic Congress. It's a party Niger Deltas are looking at moment to know whether we can survive in that party. We are also aware that the People's Democratic Party is on the wake up. But at the moment, there is crisis also in PDP. But at the moment, our people of Niger Delta are looking at two political parties. One, the Nigeria Democratic Congress, and two, the People's Democratic Party, PDP. So most of our people are in NDC. We learned that Goodluck Jonathan will run in PDP. So, but whether he has made up his mind or he hasn't, we do not know. So all we hear is that people have voted for him. But I can tell you very clearly that Peter Obi and Kwakwaso ticket is also well embraced by the people of Niger Delta. So our leaders at the moment, they are talking to leaders of the various political parties, Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC, and so forth and so on. So at the end of the day, before the general election, the leadership of Niger Delta will come up so clearly, like what Chief Clark, our leader, used to do. You know, we don't sit at the back, and we do not sit on the fence. When Chief Clark was alive, Chief Clark declared very openly in the past general elections that this is where Niger Delta should go. And Niger Delta went that way. So in 2027, before the general election, the leadership of Niger Delta, PANDEF, and also in collaboration with the Middle Belt Forum, will come out very clearly. Also in collaboration with Ohaneze Ndigbo, we, the leadership of Southern Nigeria, will come out clearly where we should go. But as I speak to you, NDC has come out with their candidate. That is Peter Obi and Kwakwaso. And that is the one that is known now. So our people are buying forms in NDC. Our people are not queuing behind NDC. So, and also some of our people are also queuing behind PDP. That is not to say that some of our people are not in APC. But before the general election, the leadership of this region will come up and give directive to our people where to go. We are grateful to Saraki Dixon, who is a son of the soil, a former governor, a distinguished senator, to have come up with a relief, because one-party system is not good. Nigeria was almost becoming like one-party system. But with the help of a leader, a prominent leader, like distinguished Senator Saraki Dixon and others, have come out with alternative. When people have alternative, it is better for democracy. We are commending Senator Saraki Dixon to have come out to bring up a party as alternative, party of choice, also to the people of Niger. Hello.
Now, following, looking at the years of agitation and negotiations and calls for reforms and improvement in the Niger Delta, what standpoint would you say that the Niger Delta is approaching the 2027 and also, you know, the political movement and alignment, would you say that the Niger Delta is approaching it from a standpoint of partnership with, you know, Nigeria and the Nigerian state, or would you say that it is approaching it from a standpoint of accumulated frustration with how the Federation has operated? I would like to get exactly which of the two the Niger Deltans are coming from. Is it from a place of frustration of how things have been handled, or are they coming from a point of partnership with the Nigerian state for improvement?
We are coming out from a strong point of view. We remain resolute, we are bold, we are courageous. The Nigerian government has oppressed us for many years. It's not just this administration. Age-long administrations in Nigeria government, you know, have oppressed the people of Niger Delta. And this is the time we can rewrite our destiny. So we are talking with the various blocs in this country. It is those that see our plight. It is those that know our plight. It is those that want to bring solution to us that we shall follow, that we shall partner with. In fact, we are highly educated. There's no community in Niger Delta where you do not have lawyer, where you do not have medical doctor, where you do not have scientists, where you do not have professors. We are well connected all over the world, but we have just been too lenient for Nigeria state. We have just been too docile. In fact, that is why we want to rewrite our destiny. Just imagine, look at all the parastatals of a government we have in the oil industry. Look at midstream and downstream. Look at NUPROC. Look at NNPC. What stops a Niger Delta in becoming the chief executive officer of NNPCL? But each time they constitute the board of NNPCL, they give us non-executive member. That is unfair. If this oil were to be in Western region purely, or were to be in northern Nigeria purely, there's nobody from Niger Delta that will be chief executive officer of NNPCL. But today, they either make northerner or make a Yoruba man. The man you have today, Ojulari, is a Yoruba man from Kwara State. So what stops President Tinubu in showing difference from what other president did by giving the chief executive of NNPCL to a Niger Delta? In fact, they did not also give us executive member. They gave us a non-executive member. That is unfair. You can see the oppression against the people of Niger Delta from everywhere. But because of our knowledge, because of our strength, we are going to take off from a position of strength, not position of weakness. There's nothing we do not know. There is nothing we do not have. All we need to do is to remain united, because some of our children that have been appointed at the federal level, they are docile. When they come to office, they begin to operate as if they are slaves. We have also gotten some appointment. So at the federal level, even though not meaningful, because when they give us the Minister of Petroleum, they made us Minister of State. Have you seen where a ministry will have Minister of State without substantive ministry? It is unfair. Why should Mr. President make himself to be a substantive minister? Before you can become a minister, you must go to the National Assembly to face the National Assembly before you can become a minister. So if Mr. President wants to be substantive minister of the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, he should go to the National Assembly and go for screening. So today...
Of course, Chief Obioebi, if you can hear me. All right, it looks like we've...
Minister. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Chief Ominimini Obioebi, for joining us this morning and for giving us your thoughts on this particular issue. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Bless you too. Chief Ominimini Obioebi is the spokesperson, PANDEF, talking on 2027 political build-ups. What is Niger Delta bringing to negotiating table? And Signature Morning, go on a break and come back with another discussion.
We are local.
International communities observing why the main market is in chaos. People
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken this move by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens. One that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours. Health is more than a diagnosis. It's your lifestyle, your choices, and your future. Join us on Inside Health, your weekly deep dive into the stories, science, and solutions shaping your well-being. From expert interviews to real-life journeys of healing and hope, we cover it all.
One of the complications of cancer management or treatment is they have some of them, at one point in time, you see them having anemia. Okay, so you see them at times being transfused. But at the same time, you come in with a diet.
Nutrition, mental health, innovations in medicine, fitness, and everyday wellness. Whether you're managing a condition, staying informed, or just living your best life, Inside Health is your trusted guide.
I'm Tigiti Agorum, and I'll be with you every week on Inside Health, only on Signature TV.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
And now we're joined by Professor Benjamin Okaba, former president, Ijaw National Congress. We're still looking at the 2027 political build-ups and what Niger Delta is bringing to the negotiating table. You're welcome to Signature Morning. Thank you for joining us. Professor Okaba, if you can hear me, you're welcome to Signature Morning. All right, it looks like we haven't connected with Professor Okaba, so we'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll start the discussion.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Professor Benjamin Okaba is back with us. He is the former president, Ijaw National Congress. You're welcome to Signature Morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, now as Nigeria is moving towards another major political season, how would you describe the position of the Niger Deltans, particularly the Ijaw Nation at this moment?
Okay, well, every transition process is very, very significant in the development of every democracy. And in 2023, I think the Niger Delta need to be more strategic, very more strategic in terms of articulating their collective demand expectation from her that is as president of this country. I think the situation when the leaders solo on how to show themselves have necessary competition instead of putting all their resources together and present a common pitch, a complete package that reflects our state and also what we
Professor Okaba, please continue. Well, it's quite unfortunate we have network connection issues with Professor Okaba. We hope that he comes back and continues, his line of thought. But while we wait for him, let's take a break and be back in a moment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
You know, come now. I'm doing
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Tired of the snow? Tired of the bad TV signals? Nigeria has gone digital. Introducing Free TV, the national platform for every Nigerian. Get 100 plus channels immediately. Sports, news, and entertainment in your native language with clear picture quality. Whether you're in the city or the village, our satellite signal reaches every corner of 36 states from day one. No monthly subscription, just a compatible decoder and you are set. It's a national asset built for you. Take the show on the road, download the Free TV app and stream your favorite channels anywhere. Starting this May, scan to download the app or call 0700 388 7277. Free TV, digital TV for free. Brought to you by NBC.
Professor Okada now joins us on the phone to continue this conversation. And before we lost you and we went on that break, I asked what the position of the Niger Deltans, particularly the Ijaw Nation, is as we build up towards 2027.
Okay, like I was saying, as we ahead of the 2027 presidential polls, where we are right now as Niger Delta is not where we should be. What I mean is that a situation where rather than coming together to form a common bloc, make common demands, our leaders are busy pursuing personal goals to the extent of even sometimes trying to upturn the desires of others. At the end of the day, if we don't constitute a common package, articulate our position properly, we will all be losers. If, for instance, we don't have a common set of demands and expectations from the leadership of this country, would be leadership of this country, at the end of the day, individuals might achieve one or two things by appointments, but in terms of addressing the common concerns and desires of the Niger Delta, I think we are going to lose so much. So I will advise rather that the likes of Senators Fabio and Siyake Dixon, other senators of Shomole should at this point in time do away with party differences, personal ego, and try to assemble who is who, influential traditional rulers, trade unionists, and articulate a position. Yes, this is not the first time we'll be doing that. Before the political reform conference that held in the late 1980s, and specifically the 2014 confab, we had think tanks that were positioned by critical Niger Delta stakeholders to come up with common position. And those issues have always been the same because they revolve around, first and foremost, the issue of resource control, environmental justice, and political inclusiveness. Because, for instance, major leaders of the Niger Delta, including the PANDEF, under the plan part of PANDEF, the INC, the Conference of President Generals of Niger Delta ethnic nationalities, host communities, youth leaders have all canvassed for direct ownership of oil resources. We frowned as president, I know, of INC and also the Conference of Ethnic Nationalities. We held a position that the 3% host community development fund, as approved by the PIA, is grossly unacceptable. And beyond that, there are demands that the oil blocks in the Niger Delta and contracts pertaining to the development of the oil industry that impacts greatly on us negatively should be given to the indigenous of the region. And thirdly, in that direction, the demand that all the oil companies should relocate their headquarters to the region. You cannot be making money from a particular region and paying your tax elsewhere. That is multiple deprivation, which I think should be looked at. Then demands will include having a functional NDDC and the Niger Delta Ministry that will be strengthened by way of funding and also restructuring. You know, these are things that we've looked at. Then in terms of political inclusion, I think as a body, they should come together and talk about issues of appointment and recruitment, both at the political and non-political levels, so that those questions of marginalization must have been dealt with. Then moving forward, on issues of environmental remediation, our demands from anybody that will emerge as president or any political party should include total cleanup of all oil spills and compensation be paid to communities and individuals that are so affected. In fact, we have the Ogale and Bile community cases that are pending. In fact, by March 2027, we are built up to those cases being raised. So what we are asking will include that, just like Amnesty International recommended, that every spill that have wrecked livelihoods, poisoned our waters, polluted our lands, and so on, should be cleaned up almost immediately. Then in the area of environmental remediation, gas flaring must stop. Gas flaring must stop. So what I'm trying to say is that these are core demands. These are core issues that affect us. Now, it is time for our leaders to come together. We should have a convocation of governors from the Niger Delta, senators from the Niger Delta, traditional rulers, and representatives of ethnic nationalities coming together to the table, articulating these issues and forming a committee, a negotiating team. These issues should be negotiated. We should not just go and surrender, or let's say maybe we're endorsing somebody today without laying conditions. Why are we endorsing the person? It should be where we are. We should be play politics as a social contract. Where we say, okay, if we give our votes, these are our expectations. If you give your votes, expectations, not based on promises, not just based on promises. We should be able to say, as we are passing our votes this way, this is what we are getting for us. We have had so many promises in the past. In fact, this thing should be so packaged that we say, okay, in the short term, in the first 60 days, what are we expecting? What are we getting from the president that we made, from the party that we made? In the next 1 year, in the middle term, what are we getting? In the next 4 years, what are we getting? So that we have some kind of agreements reached. And in the balance of wiki, let agreement be agreement. So I think if we put all these things together and move up as a body, we tend to achieve more rather than individuals going on their own to ask for one thing or the other. And when you go on your own, what are you? Yes.
All right, Professor Kaba, now you've mentioned a number of things that need to be looked into in the Niger Delta, but when we talk about, the negotiating table, I mean, these talks have been happening for years. I mean, the Niger Deltans have always come out to talk about the issue of resource control and, environmental protection and what have you. But at this point, do you think that the Niger Deltas have a leverage that they can use to get what they want? Do you think that the Niger Deltas have a strong bargaining chip that they can use to influence these changes that they want to be made in their area, looking at 2027?
No, in the immediate, there's nothing. They will have to face the truth. There's nothing, there's no negotiating table, there's no platform, right? I don't want to mention the names of some organizations that are floating themselves and all that. They are floating. Right? I don't want to disparage anybody. But the issue is that this is time for us to come up with a concrete structure. Because all what we have today are divided individualistic efforts made by some groups under the urges of Niger Delta this, under that. Behind is to achieve maybe one particular goal and all that. We're talking about something that is comprehensive, something that has a support base, that has support base from the very rural, not just some elite organization. And this is possible. It just requires one of the leaders, maybe his governor or the Senate, using the platform of the Brace Commission, for instance, right, to come up and say, look, we are governors, let's bring our senators, let's bring our traditional rulers, let us sit together and say this is what we want for the Niger Delta. That was the intention of the Brace Commission that was founded by Ibori. But we feel that thereafter, political differences and individual differences, maybe not having a governor that had the charisma that Ibori carried in those days, to be able to pull together all these forces. That is just it. It's just for a leader amongst them. We have them. We have people with individual strengths, right, and coverage. But what they need is a leader that will live beyond individuality, that should be able to now get up and say, look, yes, we are all governors, we are all senators, but let us pursue this, right? Not for myself, not for my state, but for the region. It is very possible. And that is why I'm saying that it's possible. It's possible, and a clarion call is being made through this medium, and that this time we wake up, and the lesson should be that if we go fighting alone, we might be so powerful, but we'll not get as much as when we put our house together, galvanize our forces together, and see what we can do. But if it is in the present state, I agree with you that we don't have anything. Thank you.
All right, now. Apart, you mentioned also, about politicians and, people in positions of power coming up to speak on these things. And you also mentioned bodies like PANDEF and INC. Now, how do these, now moving away from the individuals that, we're looking at to push forward the Niger Delta, narrative, these bodies as well, what is the plan of these bodies to, particularly when it comes to ensuring that the promises that would be made to the region during election periods and also during negotiations and all of that, how do these bodies intend to ensure that these promises do not disappear, after power is secured or after the election, and it is actually seen through to the end?
Well, I think, like I said, in the past, we have tried something like in a 20 as part of the build-up to the part of the.
Professor Okaba, it seems we've lost him. Let's go on a break and we will reconnect with him when we return.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens. One that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Professor Benjamin Okaba is back with us, and please do continue what you were saying.
Yeah, like I was saying, as part of our build-up to the 2023 presidential elections, the INC had the, I call it a privilege, of engaging presidential aspirants, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, the presidential candidate for the SDP, and a few others. And we presented what we refer to as present condition for us to be committed to the Nigerian project and also vote for them. Most of the things here were highlighted, in addition to asking for, as job people, asking for 2 additional states and more local government areas, saying that Bayelsa having 8 local government areas is unacceptable. We did all of that. Now, but again, there was no agreement reached. We only presented them, and at the end of the day, the various presidential candidates responded. And during the election, they will always say yes to things. But what we expected was that we beyond presentation and on the spot response, there should have been a committee put up by both parties to checkmate or maybe examine progress made on each of that. But that became difficult. Just like you said, most of the persons that were involved in ensuring that these things be done got more interested in what positions they will secure for themselves. In fact, at some point, they say, some will even tell you, look, this is not about the region first. Let us settle our appointment issues. So that is why I think to be able to achieve what you have suggested, that is a group that we work on the progress made. We need to have a broader and more robust engagement. A team is dedicated. It must not be politicians. It must be some technocrats that will put down something, and we have politicians helping to, when I say selfless politicians, helping to now move on. So because most times after winning elections, to see the same people becomes difficult. Our politicians, they are busy doing this and that. In other climes, you see them even putting them into their work plans, going ahead. So I think that is going beyond just mere discussion, even just negotiations too. We should be able to put concrete steps and persons in charge to follow up with the progress made at all levels. And I also want to believe that the politicians this time around should not just make promises. They are thinking that they do so because Nigerians don't have a short memory. And most times when people don't hold others accountable for what they have done wrong or done rightly and all that, But if things are made to change, I think we have a better position. Thank you.
Do you think or do you believe that Nigeria can work fairly for all groups and all nationalities under the present structure?
It is not possible. It's not possible. We have to restructure this country. And you can see that on a daily basis, we Nigerians are losing hope on the present structure. So the clamor for restructuring might take us closer to our dream state because security has failed us. Infrastructure development, if you go to rural area, no light, no water. In some urban areas too, we don't have light, you don't have water. So individuals have become local governments and so on. So I think we have a restructured country where we can begin to manage smaller units, leaving the entire units of this country into one person's hand or a simple structure is does not give us the result we want. Let us diversify. Let us also adopt a kind of structure that will enable community participation, effective community participation, devolve power to smaller units so that we can manage ourselves and take responsibility for whatever we see around ourselves.
Now, looking back at all the years of agitation and negotiation of the Niger Deltas, what would you say that, I mean, even though, you know, we've established that there is still a lot of work to be done in the Niger Delta, but what are the achievements that you would say that these years of agitation and negotiations have achieved for the people of the Niger Delta so far?
Yeah, well, a lot has been achieved. At least we have the NDDC, we have the Niger Delta Ministry, we have now the South-South Commission. These are agencies not performing optimally, but at least they say our bread is better than none. So at least the NDDC is doing so well right now. We have street lights, solar lights everywhere in every community. There are scholarship programs that are ongoing. The amnesty program is also there, also doing the much, so that if all these things were not there, what will have, I don't know what will have been the state of the Niger Delta. So beyond all these things that I've mentioned, we have some interventions, though, like the road network, probably the coastal rules and all that. We will not say we've lost out totally. We don't make that some benefits have actually accrued to us as a result of the agitation. But compared to what we are suffering, compared to what we actually expect from the federal government and the state agencies running from the federal to the local government area, what we're expecting, I think we are still below 20-30%.
Okay, and also just one question that came to my mind. Why is it that a lot of non-government actors in Niger Delta are coming up to, you know, hold government to ransom, apart from the well-known and established bodies that we already have? Professor Kaba, can you hear me?
I didn't take the question again.
Professor Kaba, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay, all right. I asked, you know, we've seen a lot of rising of non-government actors in Niger Delta coming up to hold, you know, the government to ransom. Why is that?
Well, holding the government to ransom, yes, because our resources are being extracted by the government, and they expect so much by way of return in terms of development to the area. When they are not getting this, why would they hold the government to responsible?
Professor Kaba, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I said, who else you want them to hold responsible? It's the government that takes the wealth. It's the government that says, okay, for instance, stop oil bunkering, right? And they expected that if we are stopping oil bunkering, there should be alternatives, right? Like the establishment of modular refineries. It's the same government that promised education that is affordable, that is also of quality. And since they realize that government is reneging on these promises, they have to push on. Look at issues of insecurity and so on. So, what else do you expect?
But it seems that most of them actually ask for their own benefits and not that of the people, generally speaking. So what do you think about that? Is that justified?
No, if the fact that you monetize, you commercialize, you individualize what is supposed to be beneficial to everybody, it's not acceptable. It's just like an NGO that goes out, makes a proposal that we want to bring pipe water, want to better the lives of rural people. At the end of the day, when foreign partners give money to those NGOs and they convert them into advancing their personal disease, is wrong. So, but in the midst of all of that, we have some genuine cases. There are some non-governmental actors or state actors, that are doing very well. Whatever is given to them, like the Tantitas services, for instance, right? They are that group spent monies, dividends of the whatever contracts they get from government in funding businesses, building quality houses and palaces for kings, right? Sending scholarships for programs and all that. So, but they are very few. So it's just to say all others should try to emulate. All others to try to emulate the good gesture displayed by Tantita. That is the only thing I would say. There are good ones, there are bad ones. The bad ones are more. But you should emulate the good ones and tell them to continue. And if you are having an agitation and something comes out of it, you should be able to use it for the betterment of the people you represent.
All right, Professor Kaba, just wrapping up at this moment, I would like to hear your thoughts on what you think on the 2027 political build-ups and the alignments that has happened so far.
I think, we are beginning to see some alignments. I think it's still, we are not there yet. Between now and one major party and all the opposition parties coming together, because that is the only way impact can be made in the next forthcoming election. The political parties are still too many. They should work together and see how, if they want to come up with any positive change, first and foremost is to get a more credible and strong political base. Right now, with good luck coming into the race, I think permutations are beginning to change. But all the same, I think it's good for our democracy. The only thing we say is that please let us be civil. Let us be more pragmatic. The leadership should not take advantage of his position to suppress those who are not in power. Let the people's choice, people's decision be supreme. That is all Nigerians need. should allow them vote for who, and then whoever the vote should count. So that is one of the major expectations anyway.
All right, and what would you advise the people of Niger Delta? What would you advise the region, the Niger Delta region, to do differently, in elections, particularly when or if they feel that their leaders are taking advantage of, over time have continued to take advantage of the region? What do you think that the Niger Delta should do differently during election period?
Now, what they should do differently is to take a critical analysis, those who are coming for elections, and vote for only people who have displayed some credibility in terms of fulfilling whatever promise they make. Yes, at the local government level, at the list level, and don't allow any form of imposition. These things happen when somebody will just pass, no, vote for this person, vote for this person, vote for this person, is it? And you don't know the person. At the end of the day, it takes the credit, and whatever that comes to you will remain crops. So they should set aside this time around immediate benefit by way of money, financial inducement, and vote for those. It might not have the money, yes, but vote for people that can use their own money, their money, to build their tomorrow. They should not just go sheepishly for any form of inducement or intimidation. They should stand with the party. We stand with the person who have showed enormous credentials of performance. I think that's just the advice I would give. And make sure they are both scouts.
A very big thank you to you, Professor Benjamin Okaba, for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. After a long time. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you too. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Professor Benjamin Okaba is the former president, Ijaw National Congress, and we just spoke about what Niger Deltans are bringing to the negotiation table, looking at the 2027 political build-ups. Do stay with us, as we'll be back after this break.
Bright and early as the day breaks, as the newspaper headlines trail the stories that shape the day. We at Signature TV trail the headlines that trail the day. We interrogate the headlines. We analyze the stories that make the headlines.
WAEC is overrated, and they even overrated themselves and went into CBT. They are insensitive of some Nigerian children who have never had what they call CBT.
With passion and emotion, we drive the conversation to change the narrative.
Let nobody be deceived by Nigerian high level of performing in agriculture export. We are still where we are.
Newspaper review on Signature TV every morning on Signature Morning, weekdays, and Signature New Day, weekends. Newspaper review on Signature TV. We do not just review the headlines, we make the headlines relevant to our daily lives.
Welcome back to Signature Morning, and just before we go, we'll be leaving you with an interview we had with Haya King, a legal practitioner and human rights advocate, and in that conversation we discussed Fubara and Wike and the struggle for power control of Rivers State. I do hope that you enjoyed that interview, as after that we'll be moving over to our Abuja studios for the continuation of Signature Morning. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha.
Last 2 years, since they are 2 years plus, since their crisis started, I have heard the opinion that Fubara personally and Wike personally does not really have much. If you recall, once Wike said that he doesn't have problem with Fubara, but he has problem with the people around Fubara, the people he is associating with. I think that's the problem of Wike with Fubara. Not just Fubara as a person. I think Wike said that, if I recall, he said that the problem problem is people around him, not him himself. And if you look at their body language, both of them, you will discover that they've not really been having a serious quarrel. It's actually their boys, their lieutenants, their supporters that have always taken the battle personally. Two of them, they've not really taken it personally. So answering that question, I still think they are going to work together in 2027. I see them working together in 2027. I don't think the relationship has broken down irretrievably. I am thinking that they are even amending the relationship. The relationship will be amended further to the extent that I see them working together. That's my personal opinion anyway. But that's my opinion. They are going to work together. I don't see the relationship broken down further. I see the relationship being mended or amended or, being peace, being coming together for both of them, working together once more.
So if you think that they both, can work together in 2027, and you've mentioned that the issue is not both of them personally, but from their supporters or their boys, that brings me to ask, if the major actors in this are fine with each other and they do not have any personal issues, why then are their boys taking it personally and causing problems that would make people think that both Wike and Fubara are at loggerheads?
Well, the thing is that, when you don't know, when you are not there when somebody is buried, is, assume the dead body. You will start from the feet or you start from the head because you were not there. But if you were there when it was buried, you will know where to start from to dig the crops up again. What happened is that the pacts, the agreement, the arrangement between Wike and Sin, no other person have knowledge, no other person have idea to what that pact is all about. Their agreement, their arrangement. Remember, these two people have worked together for 8 years, if I am sure, because he was the accountant general for almost all through Wike's tenure. So they work together seriously, and where they work together has to do with finance, and it takes courage, it takes trust, it takes reliance, it takes belief, it takes faith for people to work together when it comes to money and for a long time. So they work together concerning money for a long time. As is a chief of accountant general, he oversees almost all government expenditure, together with in collaboration with the Commissioner for Finance. I'm just saying that for them to be able to work together, they did not disagree. Wike did not sack him at a point. Wike did not see any reason to quarrel with him at a point for that 8 years. That means he was trusted. That's what I'm trying to say. He was trusted financially by Wike. So there's no other thing that Wike cannot trust him with. They may have a little disagreement is there. I disagree with my wife. I disagree with my children. They disagree with my friends. So we disagree and we still move forward. You don't say because you disagree with your wife, you divorce her. If you marry a second wife, you disagree, you divorce her. How many wives are you going to marry? How many husbands are you going to marry? So that's the problem. That's the challenge. So this other lieutenant, the follower, may not know this fact, may not understand this relationship, may not understand it. So because they don't understand it, they are one to, take to do things that are not necessary. I have also heard where Say was cautioning his supporters, saying, be calm, don't worry. I have also heard where Wike was also cautioning his supporters. And so both of them try to do that. But like I said, these supporters may not really understand the relationship that they have. There are people I have a special relationship with that other persons don't know our relationship. That relationship is deep. They don't understand that relationship. No matter what the person does, I overlook or what I do, The person overlooked because of that special relationship. So it's there, it exists everywhere, it exists all the time. There are people you have come over the years, you trust them to the extent that you can sleep. You can sleep, yeah. But I said, if you can trust somebody financially, if you recall, it's not all the commissioners that work with Wike that survived 8 years. Not all of them. Not everybody that worked with him survived 8 years, including permanent secretaries, including commissioners, including politicians. Not all of them survived 8 years, but 2 of them survived 8 years. And dealing with money. I'm mentioning money. It's not easy to deal with people with money for a long time. It means that there has been trust. You have built confidence to the extent where you can trust somebody with money for a long time. And we can trusted him with River State money. 2 of them trusted each other with River State money. So I think they have a deeper relationship that some of us do not understand. And again, if you look at both of them, you will see their body language. They are not really attacking themselves. If you watch, check out. You have never seen them attacking themselves and all that, the way some other politicians have attacked or the way they have attacked the other opponent too. So I think there's something we don't understand that is making them strong, is making them like I said, I still see them working together in 2027 because they are in the same party. They are in the same APC, so I don't see any reason why they shouldn't work together. They can't work at variance. It will be against the interest of the president. If they cannot, they should work together. If they don't work together, then it's useless. There's no point. They can't be in the same party and work at variance. It's not possible. I see them working together, but a lot of things may happen also between now and ticket and all that. I know a lot of things will happen as time goes on in terms of realignment and moving on and moving and all that is going to be happening because I have predicted somewhere that I see a situation in this coming election where governors, senators, politicians will tell you, President, we are voting this party, and the governor, we are voting another party. Wike has said that precedent. Wike is a master stroker. He's a master stroker as far as Nigeria politics is concerned. For the first time in history, he has been the only person presently is in PDP, is in APC. He has influence all over the party. For the first time, he came out in 2023 and told Nigerians, look, President vote here, governor vote here. So this time, we are going to see a lot of governors toe that line. And I think it's better. I think it's good for our democracy. We are going to be looking at individuals more than looking at a party. If you look at the Nigeria policy, from 1999, we have had this situation where we have always been in the party. Once you are in a party, whether they bring a monkey as your presidential candidate, they bring a monkey as your governorship candidate, you vote for that governor. You work for that governor. Nobody says no. Everybody is beating into the line. Like soldier, you must mobilize. You must move on. You must obey the last command. But in 2015, a sitting president lost election. People under him worked against him. Is there in the open? Jonathan said people worked against him. His own ministers, they worked against him. He didn't know it. Secretly, they did it secretly. But in 2023, Wike took it to the next level by doing it openly on television, on radio, during campaign. He said, vote here for president, vote here for governor. And nothing happened. So I think that we should give Wike some credit for that. And he's changing a lot of, our political permutations and all that. And I see it happening again in 2027. A lot of governors in APC will vote another president. And in APC will vote another president, will vote another governor, will vote another senator. You will see people coming now more on personal, recognition and all that. And they don't care. They do it. They don't care. They do what they ought to do. Yeah, that's what we had in the media, that some of the politicians linked to Fubara were disqualified and all that. It's politics. People are not ready to change anything. They're not ready to make anything good. I asked one of them once, and I said, one of my big politician friends, And I said, is it possible that somebody will come into office and what is it behind his mind, at the back of his mind is that I'm going to punish Nigeria instead of let me see what I would do. Let something get improved. Let something get better. What has gotten better? Nothing. Is it like today now, the average Nigerian, even the rich man, government cannot pay for electricity bill. I am told, I read in the paper, that Aso Rock was consuming 47 or 50 billion for electricity. They are going to put solar. That means they can't pay for the bill that they are giving to people. They can't even pay for the bill. They can't pay for the bill and they have gone and you want me to pay. You can't pay for electricity bill in Nigeria. Electricity bill is worse than, is higher than petrol. Electricity bill is higher than petrol. We're talking about petroleum subsidy. Electricity is what they should subsidize. Companies are no longer producing. Even if you produce, you can't pay for electricity bill. And the politicians, are they thinking of our welfare? I am asking this question again openly. The politicians, are you thinking of our welfare? You come to power, you sit down, you call your think tanks, you call your economic advisors. What are we going to do to fix refinery, for instance? Just take one project. If all of them had been taking one project, assuming Obasanjo fixed power when he came, they spent $16 billion, if you remember, on Obasanjo spent on power. We didn't see power. Jonathan did it, so we didn't see power. Buhari, we didn't see power. People, assuming Jonathan fixed power, today we're able to generate 10,000, 20,000 megawatts of 30,000. Some countries smaller than Nigeria, they have 30,000 megawatts. They have excess power. The power runs for 24 hours and you can pay for it. It runs 24 hours, you can pay for it. I was telling somebody, imagine where the Europeans, the Americans, play with power. And they play with power during winter. During winter and snow everywhere. Imagine the calamity. Imagine the amount of people that will die. Power is a human right, for instance. Power should be a human right. So imagine, even a beggar is provided with power. He can pay for power. He can pay for life, to live. Because if you cut all power in Europe, for instance, the machinery, the computers, the things that will crash 1 second power outage, things will crash. And they have kept that in for like 50 years or more. What else